Red button. Is that
Red
red
Rover,
button?
Red Rover.
Red Rover.
Is it on?
Over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on.
Didn't
She's
beep.
on.
I didn't hear a beep.
Because we were all
She's turned on.
shouting and yelling. She's turned on.
Belgium.
Tommy knows how to hit the right buttons to turn her on. What's up, everybody?
Hello there.
Welcome back to Bald with Glasses, episode number who freaking knows anymore.
33?
33, Larry Bird, Larry Legend, shout out. Welcome back to episode number 33 of Bald with Glasses. As we alluded to in the previous episode, we are switching the format. Format switch.
We're switching gears first to second, baby.
And we are, from this point moving on, going to be breaking down different countries, talking about all things of said country, of said week. So we're going to give you a little deep dive into the history, a little deep dive into the culture, a little travel tips. We're going to just give you a little guide. A
little taste.
A little taste.
And hey, be warned, we're not experts, but this is just what we found.
Yeah.
Take it as you will.
Some things that we find that are interesting, give you guys a little bit of insight into these countries.
You want to learn a little bit.
This episode and all episodes are brought to you in part by
Lizard Mill Hot Sauce. Go to lizardmill.com.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Promo code BWG10 for 10% off your order. Best hot sauce east and west of Mississippi and #1 ranked sauce in my heart.
Our hearts.
Yeah.
Our hearts.
Our hearts. All of our hearts.
Well, I don't want to speak for anybody else but me.
So, on this week's episode, we are going to give you guys a little cheat sheet. Our cheat sheet on
Belgium.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Practiced.
pretty good. We did not.
We had to
practice,
twice.
but
We practiced
planned.
twice.
So we're doing Belgium. We've talked about it in the past. We have some international listeners that we found out, and our #1 most listened to country, aside from the United States, is Belgium.
So we love you, Belgium.
We love you, Belgium. We want to see you
Again.
do well.
If you're planning on going to Belgium or ever thought of going to Belgium, this might be helpful tips and tricks for you. We're going to start it off here.
No. Not even just that. Even if you're just a
Curious lad?
Curious party?
Yeah, if you're just yearning for knowledge.
A lad's lad.
A lad's lad, that's right. If you're a proper lad.
I've been watching too much British reality show TV.
Really?
Crack on.
I'm going to crack on. So we're going to kick things off. So generally speaking, Tom is going to cover the history. I'm going to cover culture-ish related stuff. And Andrew's going to cover travel-related stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're going to start off with a little history, give you guys a little breakdown of what Belgium's all about. It turns out...
I mean, there's a little bit of dirty laundry.
A little bit of dirty laundry.
A little dirty laundry.
So,
Need some extra dove
You know
in there.
how history goes. The winner writes the books, right?
Mhm.
That's what they say.
There's a couple of accusations that Belgium might not be so perfect.
Okay. Historically,
Well,
not many places are.
Yeah, exactly.
who's
so
accusing them? You are.
I'm not accused. I was led to information
Unbelievable.
that makes some sense that they are not the country. Their leaders have not been honest.
Okay.
Let's hear what made you think that. I'm excited to learn.
I don't want to start with that.
Fucking
I want to
Europe.
start with. Yeah, Europe has a crazy
Figures.
past. So
Figures.
first counts is Belgium was a set of tribes in the region. That part of Europe, it was a couple different tribes, and they either spoke Germanic or Celtic.
When was this?
BC, like BC,
Oh.
400 BC,
Long time
before
ago.
C.
before C.
Before C.
Gotcha.
Yes. Then they were taken over by the Roman Empire, which, as we all know,
As one does.
yeah, it took hold of pretty
Yeah.
much all of Europe.
I
Basically.
mean, yeah, they took over everything, I hear.
When the Roman Empire ceased to exist, whatever.
Was ultimately defeated.
Ultimately defeated, yes. There was talks in Europe in Vienna to split up who owned which parts of the countries and stuff. Oh no, we're not even there yet. Never mind.
Back it
That
up.
was bad.
Back up the
That
truck.
was dumb as hell. I skipped the whole part.
Back it up.
No, yeah. So the Roman Empire ceased to exist. Some families in some places, they call them states. I don't really know all the terms for
Are
that.
these Roman states?
These are past Roman states because obviously the Roman Empire had moved in, spread its
spread its
Wings.
not its seed, but its religion.
Okay.
So there's a lot of history based on religion, and it's Protestants versus Catholics.
Isn't that crazy, by
Yeah.
the way?
Mm-hmm. Religion, we can do a deep dive into another time.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah,
Save it for a
a
rainy
lot of
day.
it has to do with like Protestants and Catholics and who wants to be in charge. But then, so a couple families rose to power, turned into cities and not cities, turned into states, and so basically they were called the Franks, mostly of Germanic
It's actually
descent.
who Frank Sinatra was named after.
Is that a true fact?
He
There's
lies.
no way. Yeah,
He
that
lies
was a
as a
lie.
rug. Continue, Tom.
Acting.
Then the French took power.
Vive la France.
Napoleon took power. Basically tried to take over the world again, just like the Roman Empire.
Pause real quick. Do you know Napoleon wasn't actually that short?
Yeah, he was like 5'7" or 5'8", right?
Did you know that?
I didn't.
Everyone gives him a bad rap.
Is that
Well, he was a complete
Isn't
fucking
that where-
yeah, but
tyrant.
they call him a
but-
little like.
isn't that where the Napoleonic complex comes from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wasn't even that. I
mean,
would
he
picture him
wasn't
being like 5 foot.
He
nothing.
wasn't like that small for the time, but he was still like small in stature. He wasn't a big guy. So anyway, continue. Wait, when was this? What was Napoleon? What are we talking timeline wise?
Let me look.
None of us know. To give you guys an idea of how smart we are.
You couldn't tell.
No, we're not. I'm not smart at all. This is not my.
When
Will
was
Forte.
Napoleon in power?
So the Roman Empire ended in the 11th and 12th century.
It
Just didn't work.
Hey Siri, when was Napoleon in power? Any guesses?
16 or 1700s.
Here's an answer from Britannica.
1799 to 1804.
5 years? That's it? We got all this fucking talk about this guy who's only in power for 5 years?
Yeah.
Doesn't take long to do some
So-
damage.
Sounds like Jimmy
I'm
Carter.
sweating.
Yeah, I'm sweating. It's hot in here
Jimmy
again.
C.
JC.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
What do we got, Tom?
After Napoleon,
Yep.
right?
So Napoleon tried to get into some stuff. He tried to take
Yeah, he
over
tried
the
to do a
world.
bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Try to big man him.
He lost a battle in what is now Belgium,
Okay.
right? Which is pretty significant because I think I told you a fact over the weekend that Belgium is pretty famous because there's a lot of wars that have been fought in that area.
It's a middle ground.
It's kind of a middle ground, yes.
A lot of troops
yes.
have to cross through Belgium to
Yes.
get to the other parts of Europe.
Yes,
Facts.
which has to probably do with in the olden times with those faith lines based on Protestant and whatever. You know what I mean? Just of how they split. So they had a meeting in Vienna and said, we don't want French rule because France at that time was what Germany is, not now, but when World War II happened, they tried to take over the world again.
Right.
So they said, we don't want French influence, and so we're just going to create a kind of like stalemate in the region, and they're going to call it like I have the exact name, it's fucking long.
Try to pronounce it as best as you can.
It's not long, but I just couldn't remember it off the top of my head. The United Kingdom of Netherlands.
Oh.
So that's where but like it's mixed between whatever.
Uh-huh.
So that's where the Dutch speaking came from now. So if you didn't know this, Belgium had or claims 3 national languages of German, French, and Dutch. That's where the Dutch, but you'll talk about that later, Eric. Well, the people of Belgium were not fucking happy with that.
They didn't want to be part of the Netherlands.
No, this is in 1815. They didn't want to be part of that because of economic.
Implications?
No, the economy wasn't very good. They weren't treated well. It was basically a trading route for England and other countries of bigger powers, and they were just using that as like a trade route. And basically, the people of Belgium were not being treated well.
Mm-hmm.
So they revolted. 15 years later, they became Belgium in 1830.
Way to go, Belgium.
So they
Hold your
their-
ground.
Their most recent owner, if you will, was the Netherlands.
The United Kingdom of Netherlands, which came from a meeting between like a bunch of bigger countries in Europe in Vienna to keep French rule out because
Vienna, for those of you that are dumber than us, is Austria.
yes,
I knew
So
that.
is that where we're at present day?
kind
Well-
of. So they a constitutional monarchy is the form of government that they formed. They created a constitution, and then they appointed a king who was a French speaker, Leopold I.
Ooh.
Right? Had a son. He tried to colonize other countries as countries of that time period do, because that's a good way for a country that's starting out to make money.
Mm-hmm.
The United States had slavery. Britain had a bunch of colonies in Africa and Australia, right?
Yep.
But that's an easy way for them to make money because they can take resources from other places, sell them, and then the money goes back to the country.
Bing bong.
He tried it I guess he tried like 50 times and failed, and he couldn't do it. So his son,
Okay, kinda
following in his
stinks.
dad's footsteps, Leopold II, finally said that he wanted to. This is where it gets a little hairy. This is where the accusations come because apparently the history books in Belgium say that Leopold II was like a peacemaker and a spreader of faith, and he brought a lot of money, and everyone loves him. There's gold statues of him everywhere there. Apparently, he turned the Congo in Africa, and he basically enslaved all the people there, made his own army, and then started selling all the abundance of rubber trees, because it's about the time people started to need natural rubber, which is where they used to get it, from trees.
I never knew that.
So they took they basically colonized the Congo, and were just making them work for them to produce these rubber trees.
They enslaved the Congo, they made them work for them, and then like there's some pretty harsh accusations of Leopold II taking the money and pretty much putting it in his own quote-unquote bank account.
Now I would tend to believe all of that.
Because
Yeah.
he basically funded the colonization of that country with his bank account.
People were not nice to Africa for a long time.
It's crazy, dude.
True.
It's crazy.
I know.
So that
Really is.
that fact you talked about how they have the constitutional monarchy, I didn't realize that still exists to this day.
Yeah.
They still have a king.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Belgium
I
still
don't know
has a
how
king.
much power he has
So,
per se, but that's
I'll
a
get into that.
yeah.
Stay tuned.
So there's some pretty harsh accusations that he went to because countries in Europe have like a fucking meeting every year or every 4 years or whatever, and he said, I'm gonna go colonize this country, and I'm gonna do it with my own money. It's gonna be an act of spreading Christianity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it turns out he just realized that he can make a bunch of money off rubber trees, turned all the people there. He took all the strong young men and fucking turned them into an army.
Jesus.
And then basically, I don't know the word
It's easy
for
to
it.
have high profit merchants if you don't have to pay for the labor.
That's
Well, yeah,
true.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
true.
And then he made an army out of people of Congo and then basically brainwashed them to think that the other people that they were shooting and killing, like it's like the most, like 10 million people died. It's crazy.
Whew.
Yeah.
Jesus, this was in the middle of the 1850s, somewhere around there.
Yes.
Holy hell.
Yeah, like not very far away.
So what happened following that?
So people started to realize what was going on, and he couldn't. The king of Belgium couldn't be selling this rubber for so cheap and making this amount of product without slaves. So people started to realize what was happening and started trying to like find out what was going on. A guy from Germany went to go buy some rubber, and he was hung there like with no. He didn't go to court or anything. He didn't do anything. He didn't break a law or anything. They just hung him and killed him. And then when Germany found out, they fined the king a bunch of money, which was like a small drop of.
Yeah.
Apparently, he made like. I think the number was 220 million francs, which in today's money is like more than $1 billion.
Wait, so he was getting all these troops from the Congo. Who was he fighting?
He wasn't fighting anybody.
Where did all these deaths come from?
He had this army in the Congo to enslave more people of the Congo.
Okay,
So they were
gotcha.
basically
gotcha.
like killing their own people.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
he brainwashed them to think that these people weren't human.
Wow.
And
This is Leopold II.
this is Leopold II.
I see. I follow now. Okay.
However, like I said, people, the information that I found said that in the history books, Leopold II is claimed to be this humanitarian peace spreader who brought all this money to the country, and that's just kind of how it went down.
Kind of reminds me of some of the early U.S. presidents that we
Yes.
have statues of that had droves of slaves.
Yes.
It's so crazy too, like the fact that we're not even batting an eye at the fact that there's like history books made that is just completely falsified or exaggerated in certain
yeah, but,
regard,
like,
and it's just how it is.
You don't know because
Yeah.
the people who died can't write, you know?
Whoever's in power, right? That's
And
what
wherever
Yeah.
you are, like wherever
Yeah.
you grow up, they're gonna teach you
Whatever they
their
want you to
truth.
think.
push
Yeah.
their agenda.
Crazy.
I was watching a podcaster actually talk about that in Russia, and a lot of people in the United States are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe Russian people are so brainwashed." Blah 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 blah. They think that about us
I know.
because they think we're brainwashed because of what we learned.
There was something I saw, speaking of that, with the Russia-Ukraine war. There was like a footage of them in Russia, and they were showing people like pictures of the bombs that were going off in Ukraine, and the people that they were speaking to like just simply didn't believe that was
Yeah.
actually true.
Yep.
I don't know how much of that is like they actually didn't believe it, or they were like kind of like, I don't know, like scared
Not
to
allowed
talk
to
about
say
it
a
or
lot of
whatever.
stuff on camera.
You
in
never
Russia.
know, but it was just wild.
So, does that bring us to the end of the history segment?
Yeah, I wanted to say one more cool thing.
Please do.
Belgium holds the world record for the longest period of time without a government.
When,
they
when
broke-
was this?
2011, I believe, was when they broke their previous record.
What? No government, just running around like wild animals?
2018, I'm sorry. 592 days without a previous government.
What?
That's more than a year.
How does that even make sense?
So there's two main parties in Belgium, and they didn't agree on like the terms for the next form of government, and then the person who is basically like a mediator between the two to help decide and vote on. It's basically sounds like a union meeting, to be honest.
And I don't know if any of you guys are mathematicians. 2018 is not long ago.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago.
Yeah. So that brings us to present day.
Pretty close to present day, yeah.
Real
Present
close.
day.
Let's clap it up for the history. Thank
History,
you, Tom.
Thank you.
history,
Tried my
History,
best.
History.
So
You did great.
present day, as we talked about, Belgium is so. The politics of Belgium take place in a framework of a federal, representative, democratic, constitutional monarchy. That's a mouthful.
Say
That's
that
a
10
lot of
times
words.
fast.
What does that mean?
The king of the Belgians is head of state, but the prime minister of Belgium is head of the government in a multi-party system.
Oh my God.
And executive power is exercised by the government. So the king signs laws, but always needs approval of a minister.
Okay.
This is because they live in a democracy, but the king is also the commander-in-chief of the Belgian army. So it's very convoluted. That's
Yeah,
probably
that's
why they
confusing.
didn't have a government for 592 days.
Yeah.
As you talked about earlier, there are sort of the middle ground for Western Europe where like all things have to go through Belgium. So that is why they are now home to the NATO headquarters. And a lot of people refer to Brussels, which is the capital of the capital of Belgium, as the capital of the European Union as well.
Gotcha.
So NATO headquarters, capital of the European Union, all take place in this small little hectic country.
Yeah,
They've
really,
got a
it's
lot
kinda
of shit
hectic.
going on. So
Lot of moving
what I
parts.
didn't realize about Belgium is that they are very divided.
Yeah.
Tom spoke on this a little bit earlier.
I actually
didn't know
have
this.
more on that if you wanna start, and I might.
You could chime in.
I might chime in. Yeah.
There are 3 primary languages in Belgium: Dutch, French, and German. Now, German, from what I've read, only constitutes about 1% of the total speakers present day. It's about, I believe, I thought I had it in here. I might have taken it out. I thought it's either, right here. The Dutch constitutes 60% of the population, and French constitutes 40% of the population.
Damn.
So there are 3 main regions in Belgium. There's the Flemish region, which is the Dutch-speaking. That's the north. So that's what borders the Netherlands, hence the Dutch-speaking.
Makes sense.
There's the Walloon region, which is subdivided into 5 provinces. That's the southern region of Belgium. That's French-speaking. That borders France, Luxembourg, and Germany.
Okay.
And then there's the Brussels capital region, which is within, I believe it's within the Flemish region, but it's not considered a province or part of any province. It's just its own thing.
Wow.
The Brussels capital region. So in recent years, as recent as 2010, the Flemish Nationalist Party became the largest party in Flanders. Flanders is this northern region.
The
Okay.
Dutch region.
The Dutch region.
Yes.
And the Socialist Party was the largest in Wallonia.
The southern
so the
region.
southern region.
The
So
French.
that was interesting to me that the more conservative bunch of the country all live in the north.
Yeah.
So
True.
like the part that they were most recently a part of the Netherlands, the people that are closest to the Netherlands basically, it sounds like, want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we want tradition, we don't want change, we don't want they basically I find it interesting that the people that want to keep the country the way it is the most are the people that are closest to the
Yeah.
Netherlands, both in culture and in like physical distance.
That is really interesting.
Whereas the socialist, the like the more liberal part of the country are the ones that border France, Germany, Luxembourg. It almost feels as though like that part of the country is trying to socialize the country. They have much more like socialist ideals.
So,
Go ahead.
in history, the northern part of Belgium, before they seceded from France and became Dutch owned, basically, the southern part of Belgium was more economically rich because they had all the steel and all the
They were the first country in Europe to go through the Industrial Revolution as well.
yeah. They had
Really?
Yeah.
They had all those. They had all those. Like when you think Industrial Revolution, that was all in the southern part of Belgium. So there was a lot of money around. There was a lot of the economy was booming in the southern part, and then when France lost power and the Dutch took over, the northern part started making more money and started like now the northern part is has more money because they have a bunch of sunrise companies where it's like tech and newer industries of companies that should become economically bigger with time because they're newer.
And the North is even going more so in the area of conservative. They're moving even further right. So I spoke about 2010, the Flemish Nationalist Party. In 2019, in the 2019 federal elections, the Flemish-speaking northern region, they have a far-right party. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Vlaams Belang, VLAAMS. That party
right.
made major gains. They're like extremely far right, like anti-immigration,
Jesus.
like they're extremely like basically far right. Not I wouldn't say extremists, but they're very very far right, super super conservative. It sort of gives me like a little bit of vibes of how the U.S.'s couple past elections have been going, where there's like
A
they're
divide.
completely
Yeah.
divided, and they couldn't be further apart. Where the northern region is super conservative and set in their ways, and the southern region is sort of looking for change.
Damn.
Which kind of makes sense why they didn't have a government because they just couldn't agree on anything.
Right.
They just will not budge. Kind of seems like the way everything's going now is a lot of people
Yeah.
won't budge, to be honest.
So
kinda set in their
the
own
second
way.
the second half of the 20th century, so like from the 1940s 50s on, there was rising tensions between the Dutch-speaking and French-speaking citizens.
I was gonna ask.
That was fueled by their differences in language and culture and unequal economic development.
Yeah.
So they had different, basically, like you said, the North at that point started to sort of supersede the South in terms of economic development.
Yeah.
So obviously the South was looking for change, and the North was like, no, now that we got money, like
Yeah,
we're
we're
good.
happy.
We want everything to stay the way it is. So this continued kind of tension led to several reforms, resulting in a transition from a unitary government to a federal government between 1970 and 1993. So initially they were all run by a single government entity.
This is all pretty freaking recent stuff.
Yeah, now they're broken apart so that there's like different representatives from each like region and province of the country,
Yeah.
so that there's more like the voices heard from
Interesting.
all these different parts.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
when I read that Belgium became independent in 1830, I was like, that wasn't very long.
That
ago.
really was not long ago at
No.
all.
When you think about the United States, I
Yeah.
mean, it's 100 years more, but still, that's quite a bit of time.
Damn.
So the same even goes for the culture in today, because the two regions are like couldn't be further apart. Their culture is completely different too. So all of their art, their music, think about it. They speak completely different languages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have like completely different experiences and cultures and relationships.
What's interesting too is you speak of kind of the North is sort of
Conservative.
conservative. Yeah, a lot of the locations for the travel guide coming up soon all of the spots that I kind of want to hit are northern / central.
A little
that's
bit
where
more
the money's
money,
at.
yeah.
And central is where the Brussels capital region is, which is like that's their main hub.
Yeah.
Which
But-
is a beautiful place, from what I
Brussels.
looked
Yeah.
up. It is like
Yeah, it's
absolutely
sweet.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is a
Architectural,
palatial city.
yeah.
Yeah, really, really nice. But I thought this part was really interesting. So I'm just going to read it word for word. Despite the political and linguistic divisions, the region corresponding to today's Belgium has seen the flourishing of major artistic movements that have had tremendous influence on European art and culture. Nowadays, to a certain extent, cultural life is concentrated within each language community, and a variety of barriers have made a shared cultural sphere less pronounced. Since the 1970s, there are no bilingual universities or colleges in the country
What?
except for Military and Maritime Academy. So they're like universities are separate. Their art and culture is separate.
Yeah.
It's like two separate countries in
It's
one.
almost like two completely separate countries
Wow.
within one.
It's weird too, because like I was looking up the history, and it literally says that because of the language barriers between they're the same country, but because they have a language barrier, it makes the government hard to run because they literally cannot talk to each other.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild.
So isn't that
Yeah.
what? So in terms of like culture, you can't really talk about the culture of Belgium. You'd have to talk about the culture of each of these provinces because they
Yeah.
are so drastically different.
Never knew that.
Right?
Never
Neither
would've
did I.
guessed.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I thought when we did like a quick search, like what's the national language,
And they
I
said
thought
Dutch.
It was, I thought
Yeah.
it was all Dutch.
Yeah.
I thought they were just a Dutch-speaking country.
Yeah.
That could not be further from the truth. It's almost half and half.
Yeah.
Where half speak one, half speak the other, and
That's
they're
so
like
wild.
separated by a line. Like it's not
much,
like
yeah.
they're mixed in all around the country.
It's literally like a line
Like,
halfway through the
this
country.
region is this.
Yeah.
This region is this.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a couple
Damn.
other. I'll let you jump into some travel stuff, but a couple other just like fun facts
Take it
that I
away.
wanted to put in there. One is do you know how they're bordered to the south by France, Germany, and Luxembourg?
Yes.
There's a region, province in Belgium called Luxembourg that borders
Luxembourg. So when you leave Luxembourg, you go to Luxembourg.
It is
Is it spelled exactly the same?
exactly the same.
Luxembourg West,
makes no
Luxembourg
sense.
East.
So it's in Luxembourg. It's in Luxembourg, comma BE, Belgium.
Yeah.
Like it's Luxembourg, Belgium. That's the province, and it is
Luxembourg.
bordering Luxembourg, the country.
That is
How dumb is that?
very stupid.
That's like Canada or Mexico having a state called the United States of America.
Just a New
That's-
York.
Yeah, no, like the United States of
Oh,
America
yeah,
that
well.
borders the
Yeah.
United States of America.
It's like New Mexico dropped the new.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
else we
Also,
got?
another fun fact is I don't know how fun it is, but Belgium is the only country in the world that has no age restrictions on euthanasia. So they have legal euthanasia. Like you
What?
can, if you like want to, you can like elect to be euthanized.
Damn.
That's
if you're super sick.
yeah, that's a big deal because a lot of people are fighting for that here.
So yeah, they are. I think they already legalized it in Oregon.
Because
I
there's a
believe
lot
so.
of people who suffer and
Fact
just want
check
it to end.
Yeah, which I think you should be allowed to do.
Trying to get a little. It's a little dark, but
Yeah.
there's a.
I think you should be allowed to do it.
Yeah.
If you are like of sound mind and body, like you can make a decision for yourself. Like you don't need a power of attorney.
Yeah.
And you decide like I want to choose like a peaceful way out. You should be allowed to do that.
I agree.
Instead of suffering.
Right.
That makes sense to
Right.
me. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it like bankrupts people and like that's all their family
And
can
their
think about.
families,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. So
That's a good point.
anyway, a terminally ill 17-year-old became the first minor to be helped to die in
Wow.
Belgium. The head of the Federal Euthanasia Commission said the teenager was suffering unbearable physical pain. They're the only country that allows minors of any age to choose euthanasia.
Damn. That's so sad.
They must have rational decision-making capacity and be in the final stages of a terminal illness.
Okay.
The parents, if they're under 18, the parents must also give consent.
God, that's
But at
brutal.
that point, like you don't want your child
No,
to
I know.
just
It's
Yeah.
just-
suffer.
You want to
That's
sit there and watch
horrible,
him
though.
suffer for 3 months,
No,
or
no.
just help him finish
Oh
it?
God.
And then on another interesting note, another thing about culture is their sports. So their number one sport is association football, soccer,
Yeah.
in our country. Other popular sports are cycling, tennis, swimming, and judo.
Ooh.
Judo?
Ooh.
Kick some ass.
Come on.
Yeah. So, but in regards to the football, the Belgian national football team has is the number 2 ranked team in the world, and since the 90s, they have held the number 1 spot for the most years, only behind Brazil and Spain, which I would have never guessed.
No.
Like, you think,
Wow.
like, top, like, World Cup teams of all time, like, I'm thinking, like, Brazil, England,
Italy's probably up
Spain,
there.
Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think of those. I don't think of Belgium. Like, I know they're good.
France was good for a while too.
France, too.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh, they're
think
nasty
of
now.
I don't think of Belgium as, like, a top 1 or
Yeah,
2.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so they have a very, very
That's
strong...
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right now, Kevin De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. I was trying
Yeah.
to think of who the fuck was on
Yeah,
that team.
Kevin De Bruyne. I think Romelu Lukaku.
Romelu Lukaku.
I think so, yeah.
Is he?
I believe so.
That makes
Um,
sense.
You do with a French accent.
Yeah, you
Can't.
can
Yeah.
do both. So
do
they
both.
that's just another little thing about the culture. Obviously, like, they're big on sport, and football is the number 1 sport, and they are quite good at it.
That's
I kind of
cool.
want to watch some
So-
Belgian judo now.
I know, right?
Look that shit up on YouTube.
Also, like, the fact that their number 2 was cycling,
I know.
that's kind of crazy.
They're
Like,
there.
I don't.
I mean, but imagine like riding your bike through the Alps.
Do you think they're
Yeah.
juicing?
Are there Alps in Belgium?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about it.
It would be cool. All right, so I think I'm good on my stuff. I just thought that was, like, in regards to culture, there is basically 2 completely different cultures.
Let me just say something real quick. I didn't know how this was going to go. This is our first go round. You guys kicked ass.
I thought that was pretty cool.
You
right?
guys kicked ass.
Thank
So,
you.
round of applause
Thank you.
for you.
Thank you.
Well deserved. All right. So, I hinted at it earlier. A lot of the spots that I want to hit, they're up north. So,
Ship it up north.
I have a little, I kind of have a little map kind of thing. We'll put it up here, kind of
All
where to
right.
hit and where to go. But, so they have the main airport is in Brussels, as we know. So, that's going to be the first stop.
What's it called?
Brussels Airport. BRU, bruh.
Bruh.
So the Central Square is a spot that's actually really, really cool. It's the most touristy spot.
So we're flying
you
into
wanna go.
Brussels.
Flying into Brussels, very touristy spot. My favorite part about this spot is there's some things called the mannequin peas. And that represents, or obviously translates to, Little Pissing Man.
Did you say that obviously translates to?
So this
I
is what it
actually saw
looks
that.
like,
That's
so you can
hilarious.
see it. But we'll put up a picture of it.
Hilarious.
So I guess they have 3 of those in the town square.
Isn't that like their country mascot kind of?
Kind of. I guess it's supposed to show their cheeky,
Little boy
their
peeing.
cheeky humor with
They-
the bottomless bladder because he never stops peeing.
How much you got to drink to never stop peeing?
So that's in the Central Square.
That's in the Central Square of Belgium.
Do we have a picture of the Central Square?
We'll get it up. I don't have it here.
Okay.
Snap?
Nice, Tom. Thanks for the snap. So another thing that you can get in Belgium, obviously you got to stop for some Belgian waffles,
Let's
baby.
go,
Gotta-
baby.
So
gotta
let's
do
get
it.
some
You can put a little
authentic.
Belgian chocolate on that thing.
And so obviously Belgium also has very good chocolate.
Yes.
A lot of Belgians agree that the best chocolate, regardless of the type of chocolate you get, the best chocolate is found in Brussels. That's where you go to
In
get
Brussels?
that.
That's the best of the
I
To
best.
wonder
get that
why.
good.
Doesn't matter
don't
like
either.
dark milk, whatever the.
No, it's pretty much just like whatever kind of chocolate you want.
That's the best.
best quality is what I read from one source is Brussels.
I wonder if you can, like, go into, like, a cafe or, like, a coffee shop and they just have, like, chocolate bars.
Probably.
Think so?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll walk into CVS,
Oh, hell.
buy the discount
No
chocolate.
way.
Nice.
Man, you're in Belgium.
All right, second stop on the tour.
Okay.
By the way, the trains to these spots are really close. Like this train from Brussels up to
Bruges.
what's it called? Or Bruges?
Bruges.
Bruges.
Oh, man.
We're gonna over your
To you guys.
yeah, to me, yeah.
Bruges.
Bruges.
It's supposed to be, like, Bruges, like, one of the most... It's supposed to be the most romantic city in
Yes,
Europe.
we'll get to something about that. But yes, Bruges is my favorite spot that I want to go to.
Looks
after looking
cool
at it,
as
it looks
shit,
fucking
right?
awesome. We're gonna put up some pictures. But it's an hour and 10 train ride only
Yep.
from like very center
Brussels
up
to
the top
Bruges.
left. All right, so I'm gonna mispronounce this here, but
Show me.
should we try to pronounce it on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Rosenhodenkai.
Rosenhodenkai.
There's
It's-
no N.
Wait,
I
what?
added it. Rosenhodenkai. That sounded. I don't know what language that sounded. All right.
What's the Rosenhodenkai?
So, It's just a stunning area. Look at this. We're gonna put up a picture. This touristy stuff is a lot of pictures.
That's Bruges.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is Bruges and Hutskei.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Rosenhoodke.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That's great.
So honestly, it's just like a
It's
real
all like a bunch of canals and shit.
sick canals.
So
can I get a kayak?
Can I say one thing about Bruges that I do know?
yeah.
It's one of the most well preserved medieval cities
Hell
in
yeah.
all of Europe. So
Yeah.
like all the buildings there are super old, very well preserved. It is supposed to be gorgeous.
Speaking of, one of the spots that I had to hit here is called Belfry, and it is a medieval bell tower. And we'll put up a picture again.
Cool.
One of the best things to do, you could actually climb up the top of the bell tower, check out the views of the
If
whole
anyone's
area.
ever seen In Bruges,
Never
you ever
seen
seen it? Movie with
That's a movie?
Colin
Oh.
Farrell. It is hilarious. And the bell tower was a funny one. They were walking up there, and there was like a, they walked all the way to the top, and it was a very like far climb. And they got down, and there was two like heavy set people getting ready to walk in, and he like made a comment to them essentially like, "You're not gonna be able to."
Not
do
worth it.
Yeah.
It reminds me, we went to Boston on that field trip in like 4th grade.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the tower that you climb up. It was like
It
the
was-
spiral
took
staircase.
forever.
It was so hot,
Yeah.
awful. It reminded me of that. So this
So,
tower
hold on,
was made in
we're starting in Brussels. We're
Yep.
hitting the center square, and then we're shooting up
shooting
to
up
Bruges.
hour
Okay.
10 train.
Okay.
That tower was made in 1240,
Ooh.
which is fucking sick. 83 meters tall. I don't know how tall that is.
Times
Times
3
three, just
Yeah.
about, yeah. Or is it exactly?
240
No, it's
something.
just about because it's like
Just
3.3.
about 3.3, yeah.
Yeah.
Yard is
240,
exactly 3 feet.
50-ish. And houses 47 bells if you want to get a little...
47
something in your ear.
bells?
47 bells.
Ding,
It's got to be pretty big,
Ding,
right?
ding, ding.
Like
It's
wide?
huge.
It's humongous?
It's
Yeah, show 'em the
gigantic.
picture.
Twazumangas. Here you go. Put up another picture of it.
I kind of want to go to the top now.
This is
I
the
wanna go
spot
back.
that I want to go
I
to.
want
to-
I want to ding some bells.
The last spot I want to hit here, it's called Minnewater Lake. It's
Lake Minnetonka?
no. Speaking of most romantic,
Yeah.
this lake has Lover's Bridge. Ever heard of it?
With the locks?
I think it is have the locks. I didn't. Yeah, I think you're right. But that's where if you kiss your loved one,
It's supposed to be
eternal,
yeah.
eternal love.
Wasn't the lock bridge in France? No, where the fuck?
There's
is
a
the lock bridge?
multiple of those.
Yeah,
there's
there is.
another- there's some in
There's
Asia
one in
too.
Did you
France.
see on the news that like one of the famous ones you're not allowed to put the locks on anymore because it causes
I
structural
think that
damage?
might be the French one.
Yeah.
They also like go through like once every year or whatever and cut them all off because it just fills up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Those things are heavy.
That's kind of sad.
So continue.
Okay.
That's kinda
now we're moving
sad.
down to the right to Ghent.
I think it's Ghent.
Ghent. It's a 27-minute train ride. So
From Bruges.
Yes.
Belgium is a small country.
I know, and it's
Yeah.
like I was like, holy shit, this is all so
So,
close.
but this
You can
is
hit it in
Ghent
one
is still
fucking
in
day.
the northern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still north.
Sorry.
All of these are
sorry,
north
Wallonia.
of. All of these are north of Brussels.
Yeah.
I think.
Which is all in the Flemish region.
So the one spot to hit is Gravenstein, 12th century castle, built for the Count of Flanders, as we discussed before. So really cool looking castle. Check it out. Look at that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fucking sick. Tom.
Probably when they
Really
were owned
love
by
it.
the Franks.
Hey.
See what I did there?
Now we're
Sinatra.
experts.
Yeah.
Now we're experts.
So we were looking at a lot of buildings. This place
Yeah.
does have a really cool gallery.
For art?
For art. The outside apparently looks like an ancient Greek temple. A lot
You
of
ever
cool
go
art.
into- you
From
ever-
the Roman Empire?
You get down on some art museums.
I
Can't see you like enjoying an art museum.
I don't not enjoy it. I can't appreciate it.
Why?
Like I don't know. I don't see like I appreciate more like structural. Like I would be looking at the building while everyone else was looking at the art.
So you want
I
to
don't
know
know.
what? There was one museum that I went to, and like I don't really love just like staring at paintings.
Yeah.
Some of them are cool, but my favorite thing is like sculptures.
Those
like
are cool.
when people like they're big like
Out of granite?
carved stone
Yeah.
sculptures. Those
You
are
mean
cool as
you
shit.
mean like the pyramids?
I mean, yeah.
That's fucking
Those are
cool.
made by
It's really
aliens.
cool. All right, continue.
One thing, the best museum I ever went to, it was in D.C. I forgot the name of it. We'll put it
Smithsonian.
up here. Maybe.
I mean, that's
think
a
so.
big one.
I don't think it was that one. I don't know. I bought a big ass picture of. Why can't I remember the word of things today?
I can't do that either.
What's a big waterfall? New
Niagara
York?
Falls?
Yeah, Niagara Falls.
Got
It was
it.
made in like the 1800s. All right.
Ansel Adams.
What?
I think it is.
Hansel and Gretel?
Jesus Christ, you know so much. All right, last stop in Ghent, people. We're going to. You want to try to pronounce this one together?
Also, I found out recently you can get a tour of the White House. Yeah, but you have to request it through your
Congressman?
either your senator or your congressperson, House
Really?
of Representatives.
They put the big no stamp right on it. Right when I called. They wouldn't even answer.
Friedrichsmarkt.
Of course.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was crazy.
Beautifully done.
Friedrichsmarkt.
So this is a square.
Where's this? In Ghent?
Yes, still in Ghent. This is the last stop in Ghent. It's a big-ass square. They have an open market that takes place on Fridays, but it was once the city spot for public execution. So a little history there.
Let's bring it back.
And important city meetings. There's a bunch of good cafes around there, and a big old statue of... What's the name of the leader?
I'm sorry.
Artveld? Did you say Artveld? No.
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 No, I don't know things about art.
There was a statue of Ghent's famous leader, Artveld. I don't recall his name in the history lesson, but apparently he was
Oh.
pretty important.
Are you talking about Loopold? The second?
Leopold. I think you keep saying loophole.
Loophole.
That's what when I was watching videos, that's how they pronounce it.
I don't like
Leopold.
Ghent's famous leader, so it's Ghent-specific famous leader, who was prominently anti-French. Okay. Oh, last thing. There's a super cannon there, which
Like,
is the
even
largest...
today, they're like, yeah, let's praise this guy that's anti-French.
I know, it's still hanging up there.
So you know what's weird is the Leopold or Leopold the First was a French-speaking king.
That is wild.
They opposed the French and wanted a French king who had no ties to the French, but he spoke French.
So that he could decipher.
I don't
so
have
he
any.
could
I
listen
don't
in on
know.
some
Didn't make
conversation.
sense to me when they said it.
Pop
I
up
was just
to
like,
the door.
Little inside man.
So is this our last stop in Ghent or total?
Yeah, so still in this square, the last thing I want to say is there's a super cannon nearby.
A what?
One of the
Super cannon.
one of the biggest siege cannons in all of the Middle Ages. Rather large. It would launch rather large, 250 kilogram balls.
can we
Or
shoot it?
Cannonballs. I don't think you can shoot it.
50 kilograms. How many pounds is that?
1 moment.
Oh,
It's working.
it's working.
How many pounds is 250 kilograms?
You can't say it all sexually.
Working on that.
551 pounds.
2.2. That was close.
551 pounds.
Wasn't I close? 2 point something?
If it was in grams, maybe, guy.
No, he was giving
No,
us
the conversion.
The multiplier.
2.2. It's like 2
multiplier.
point something pounds per kilogram.
So how many pounds?
550 pounds. Just
That's
about.
insane.
Yeah. It
humongous.
Was launching, it was launching fucking Vespa-sized.
like Harley Davidson sized.
Yeah.
So the last stop is Antwerp.
Yep.
So that's Antwerp right there. Just
That's how I found out
pretty
about
much-
that whole fucking Luxembourg debacle.
What do you mean?
Because I read it said the largest provinces are the smallest is Antwerp and the largest is Luxembourg, and I'm thinking like I didn't know Luxembourg was part of Belgium.
No,
Turns
it's-
out it's
yeah.
not. Total fucking bait and switch on me.
So Antwerp, although it is small, it was considered the sugar capital of Europe. I think it still might be considered.
So
the
that's
sugar
not where you're
capital.
getting your chocolate. You're supposed
That's
to get
not
it
what
in Brussels.
That's not what they
The
say.
sugar capital, huh?
Don't hurt
Maybe
me.
they ship it up to Brussels
Spot the hit.
on a truck. Down? Yeah, I'm sorry, we're north. That was just kind of like
Yeah, no, I got you. Shipping up.
yeah.
Vleeschwitz,
I was thinking
Oh.
Luxembourg.
originally constructed open air meat market.
Hell yeah.
I'd hit that.
Hell yeah.
I'd
It's the
hit that.
headquarters of the Butchers Guild. The meat house was constructed in the year 1500 in the Gothic style.
What's more badass than being in the Butcher's Guild?
Yeah, in the Gothic Empire.
Their
time.
How long-
logo is just two like hatchet or whatever they're called,
Yeah.
hatchets.
Butcher's knives.
Yeah. That's
The building also looks really cool.
I would love to.
That's what the building looks like.
sick. That is sick. It looks like
It's
a
like
big
a
fucking
ship.
crystal.
What?
In the other place, the Grote Mark, I don't know, nestled in the heart of the old city. What? Did I pronounce it wrong?
He just-
How do you pronounce
he
it?
shook his head.
How do you pronounce it?
Let me see it.
Grote. Grote?
Yeah.
Grut?
Maybe that. So this is a spot, has a lot of markets, a lot of stuff, lined with 16th century guild halls. Don't know what that is.
It's on your thing, man.
Perfect place to begin the exploration of the city. There's a picture of it. We're going to put pictures left and right on this fucking
So
thing.
is this still in Ghent?
No, this is Antwerp.
Antwerp.
This is the
That's
last
right,
stop
that's right.
of the tour.
So then from Antwerp, you gotta catch a cab back to Brussels.
Yeah, but listen, so all in all, if you start in Brussels, go to Bruges, hour 10 train, Bruges to Ghent, 27-minute train, Ghent to Antwerp, 46-minute train.
And then Antwerp back to Brussels.
Back
How
to
long?
Brussels. I don't know. I didn't do that. But it's closer than the first one. So it's not too far. No, it's farther than the first one.
It would have to be.
It's over an hour
I got
there. But I also have a thing of the train systems, and the trains go all over the map.
it. Looks like we got some good public transport.
Good public transport is right. So that's the
It's
tour.
a 42-minute train ride
Oh.
from Antwerp to Brussels.
So it is closer. Very cool. Those
get
are all the spots I saw that was my favorite. I looked at like 3 different lists of the top spots to go, and those were the ones that were on all the lists pretty much
I'm
consistently.
gonna get some damn French fries in Belgium.
Oh, so their two national dishes are steak and French fries and
Frites.
mussels and French fries.
Frites.
Mussels and French fries.
It's literally just a basket with a bunch of mussels in it and a basket with a bunch of French fries.
That sounds like my kind of place.
Damn.
Not even.
So can I make a? I mean, who knows
pound.
if we'll actually do this?
Can
But
pound a
can I make a?
Statement.
Statement.
Yes, please.
I would love if we did this if we went through the countries, if we did this for a year. So a year from
That'd be
today,
fun.
a year from today, out of all the places that we did, we choose our favorite, the one we're all most interested in going to, and then we fucking go there.
And we ship it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Bald with glasses takes the world. Take on the world.
We don't
Take
have
over.
to. We don't have to go like that day.
Yeah, yeah.
But like
We'll
we'll
plan
pick
it.
a place and then we'll start planning it. We can go a couple months out or 6 months or a year out, and we'll go for a couple days. It doesn't even have to be like a full week.
You might be onto something,
5
Charlie.
days.
Yeah,
I
just a
don't
quick.
fucking know. Yes.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like a
That'd be
little
fun.
quick trip.
I mean, that'd be.
And then if
that'd
we
be
leave
awesome.
the ladies at home, we don't have to worry about the dogs. We don't have to do all that.
Yeah.
Do a little fucking little boys
guys trip. Maybe
Yeah.
that-
You know how mad my girl would be if we did that?
yeah, that wouldn't go.
I
over
mean,
too well.
same with me, but
Yeah.
it's for I'm working. It's for work.
Well, guys, that was fucking fun.
I fucking love that. I thought that was a lot of fun.
I hope you guys learned something.
Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully we didn't sound like two big idiots. Like there's just some French and Dutch speaking people sitting next to
Smacking
each other.
each other
like,
around.
These people are idiots.
We might have, but
That was a good.
I learned a
accent.
bunch of shit about Belgium, to be honest with
too.
you.
I did too.
That
And a
was
lot of
fun
shit
one.
that I looked up tied in with what you guys were talking about.
See,
It's really cool.
That's why I think this is gonna be cool because we'll learn along the way. We can teach some people some stuff along the way, and then by the end of it, we'll fucking know all about the whole world.
We'll know everything.
That's what I'm saying. All right. So
Where are we
what do
going next?
Where
yeah,
we
where
going
are we
next?
going? Where are we going next?
We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket
No.
ship. Little Einsteins.
Where do we want to
Where do we
go to
wanna
next?
go?
So we had a couple that we had talked about last time that we had selected before this one.
Truth.
I don't
we
remember
wanna-
what they were, though.
The only one I do remember was Egypt.
That'd be sick.
Egypt would be fun. I kind of want to do Egypt.
Do Egypt?
I mean,
Thoughts?
you both seemed very excited when I said it. So
I forgot we talked about
are
it.
we doing Egypt?
Let's do Egypt.
Man, I'm
Lock
talking
it in.
pyramids and shit.
Egypt,
Yeah.
Egypt it is. All right, so we're gonna go to Egypt next, and then if you guys are if you like this episode,
Let us know.
throw us a like, throw us a follow, throw us a share, but also let us know where you want us to take you. Let me guide you.
Let me take you.
somewhere.
I want to take you.
Let us know if you like it. This episode and all episodes are brought to you by our lovely and
Lizard Mill Hot Sauce.
promo code BWG10 lizardmill.com.
Get yourself the best hot sauce in the entire freaking industry.
Honestly, do it.
0 calories. It's like, what is it, like $10 to try a bottle, but it's also
no thickeners, no sweeteners, all natural
No
products.
dyes, no nothing.
no nothing. You can get all 3 for like,
I bet
don't
you
know,
they don't have anything like this in
$30.
Belgium.
True.
I'm
They better get some though.
Yeah.
By subscribers.
Yeah, and get 10% off.
We love you, Belgium. That was fun.
put
Good
some
work.
damn Liz Mill on your damn hot
That-
French fries.
Listen to the man. Au
That was
revoir.
fun. Au revoir, sayonara, see you later, take it easy.
That was fun.